So first we start with what is an equation. Essentially, an equation it's an expression which is a representation of a line in terms of graph. So when I talk about what is it that we are talking about when we say a linear equation, I'm essentially talking about an algebraic expression that defines what something like this on the graph would be represented as. So the generic form, as you can see here, is actually ax plus b. Since most of you have done Algebra 1 already, can one of you tell me in ax plus b, what is a and b, and can one of you tell me that, what the coefficients a and b mean? Okay, yes, Aditya?
So is A the slope and B is the y-intercept?
Okay, okay. So I will talk about intercepts in some time, but you're right. So coming to inverse and equivalent operation, I will tell you why I'm talking about all of this. So inverse operations are essentially those which are the inverse of each other. So what do I mean? You can have a plus b, that's addition, and the inverse operation of a plus b would be a minus b, right? Now, why are we talking about this? So let's take an example. Let's say you have x plus 5 equals, let's say, 3, right? So if I perform the same inverse operation on each side of the equation, then I still get the equation to be the same. Such an equation is called equivalent equation. What do I mean when I say that? So let's say I add a number 6 on the right side of the equation, and I add the number 6 on the left side of the equation. The equation still remains intact. It's still the same equation. Everyone agrees with me? You get this point? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, great. So what is the essence of equivalent equation? Equivalent equations are those equations which have the same solutions. I'll tell you what having the same solutions mean. Then let's start with this part of the equation. We had x plus 5 equals 3. So what will x be? X will be equal to 3 minus 5, right? Which is essentially negative 2. So that was what my first equation yielded as the value of x as the solution. Now, when I added 6 on both sides of the equation, what did I have? I essentially had x plus 11 equals 9, which also gives x to be negative 2, right? So when I add or subtract constants on both the same constants on both the side of the equation, essentially the final equation that I am getting will yield the same solution or the value of x in this scenario. Okay, so that's the definition of an equation and what is equivalent equation. I'll go through these core concepts very quickly. They are very simple, very straightforward. I know most of you have done it already. So I'll just walk through them quickly. Addition property of equality. It means that if A equals B in an equation, in an expression, then adding the same constants on both the sides, the left and the right side of the equation, will still give you an equivalent equation. The same goes for subtraction. If A equals B, then subtracting the same value of a constant on both the sides of the equation will yield an equivalent equation. So we can quickly check, right, by solving these examples. Let me start with the first one for you. X minus 3 equals negative 5, right? So what's the value of x? Can someone quickly tell me?
Negative 2.
Great. So x is negative 2 here. So suppose let's add a constant on both the sides of the equation. So if I add plus 2 on this side, sorry, if I add plus 2 on this side and if I add plus 2 on this side as well, then will I still get the same answer? It'll be x minus 1 equals negative 3, right? Which still gives me x to be negative 2, right? Okay.
Yes.
All right.